you do not reach a certain money milestone by age 40, it's almost impossible to become a millionaire. To put this more directly, if you do not have this amount of money invested by the time you're 40, you're basically begging to work long into your own retirement. In this video, I want to discuss the millionaire breaking point, an amount of money that everybody should aim to hit as soon as possible. And you especially need to hit this amount before you're 40. I also want to cover 3 ways you can push yourself to not only reach this goal, but massively surpass it, which will help you get the financial freedom you actually deserve. So what is the millionaire breaking point? Well, let me put it like this. Let's say you're in the boozer with your mates and it's 7 p.m. You promised your missus that you'll be home by 10 p.m. to watch the latest Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You know it takes 15 minutes for a taxi to arrive and another 15 minutes to get home. You know that the latest time you can call a taxi is 9:30. Ideally, in a normal world, you'd call this taxi in advance and book it in. But if you do this, your mates are gonna laugh at you and say that you're running back to your missus and you are under the thumb. So you sink pint after pint, 7:30 passes, 8 p.m. passes, still no taxi called. Your mates then buy you another round, 8:30 passes, and you know subconsciously you really should be calling and booking that taxi for 9:30. Your mind starts to think, maybe it will be okay. Maybe she'll be fine with me being late. 9:45, you've missed your window. You now know you're gonna get in trouble. You know you're gonna be late. You missed the deadline to keep your wife happy. So why not be fashionably late and use this time to think of an excuse? 10 o'clock turns around. A taxi hasn't been called or even arrived. She starts calling you. So you start to rattle off excuses like, I called them, they didn't answer. I already called them and it's running late. It didn't show up. Knowing full well you broke the golden rule of marriage. Happy wife, happy life. So in a panic, you order a taxi right away, hoping that somehow Lewis Hamilton is now working for city taxis. This feeling of panic in this exact moment, missing this deadline, is the exact same with our own personal finances. We all know we need to plan to become a millionaire. And in today's society, it's not even an option. If you want to retire, not even comfortably, just actually retire, and you're under the age of 40, you will have to, without exception, at some point become a millionaire. So I ask, why haven't you called a taxi yet? Why haven't you put in place the step to become a millionaire? Over the past couple of days, I've ran some lump sum interest calculations. I was trying to find out how late you can leave it to call your millionaire taxi. And the result is simply, if you do not have $100,000 invested by the time you're aged 40, you will find it near enough impossible to comfortably reach $1 million. Here is the mathematics simplified. If you have 100k invested into ETFs at age 40 and want to retire at 65, a simple 10% market return a year would make you a millionaire by 65. That's without any extra contributions. Basically, all you need to do is put 100k in an account by aged 40. And if you don't reach this amount, you're going to have to invest way over $1,000 every single month until you actually reach retirement, which is very, very hard to do. Because the more serious issue is $1 million or £1 million or €1 million these days. If you're under 40, is not even enough to comfortably retire. So I hope you see my point. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you're probably thinking 40, that's ages away. But you are actually just at 7 or 8 p.m. in my pub example before. Time literally flies. Every year seemingly gets shorter, and 40 is a lot closer than you think. So you should be looking to order your millionaire taxi in advance and get to this 100 grand as fast as possible. And then after that, you can actually take your foot off the gas a little bit and enjoy life a little bit more. So how do you get there? Well, like I said, there's 3 very easy methods which, if you combine them, will rocket your wealth and make things a lot easier for you in the future. The first one is something you have to do on payday. Invest 25% of your income right away the second you get paid. By doing this, you are investing first and spending the rest. And if you do that, you're already ahead of 50% of the population. The average American earns about 60 grand a year. 25% of this salary is $15,000 a year into your investments. If you invest with the average market return of 10%, you will have $100,000 in just over 5.5 years. That's less time than it takes to grow a tulip from a fucking seed. Investing first and spending what's left is the way to do things, and most society get this mistake massively wrong. I bet you're probably watching this video subconsciously thinking, I'm guilty of doing my investments after my bills are paid. After I've paid for my car, my rent, my food, my Starbucks, I invest at the end of every month. And that is a massive mistake. The second thing you can do is max out your employer contributions to your pension as quick as possible in the year. If your employer just matches your pension by 3% of your annual salary, that is a huge amount of money which can get you to 100K as fast as possible. And you should aim to max out this contribution as early on in the year as possible, and then again you can take your foot off the gas for the rest of the year. This is literally free money your employer is willing to give you to push you towards a 100K target. And by doing this, it will drastically shorten the time it reaches to get that 100K before age 40. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's right-hand man, famously once said, the first 100K is a bitch, but do what you have to do to get to this amount of money. Do overtime, live on food coupons, do what it takes to get to 100K before 40. The reality is we all have to claim millionaire status at some point if we want a comfortable retirement. It's not even a choice anymore. And that leads me on to the third big thing you can do to push yourself to a better financial future. And that is maximize your actual returns on your investments. Many people say you cannot beat the market, but I disagree. I backtested a simple ETF portfolio that not only beats the market, it dominates it in terms of performance, and I would argue it's even more diversified than the S&P 500. So if you want to have a chance at beating the market, check this video out up here because it will help you push yourself towards millionaire status much faster.